Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks so much for joining us, subscribers, viewers, trolls. Thank you for dropping by. Red Street, Walking Street, Angeles City, Philippines, the entertainment district. That's some of the cheapest entertainment that you're going to find in the Philippines. Now bear with me. All right, you've got to understand where I'm coming from here. So let's get started. Walking Street, which is what I'll always call it, or Red Street, the entertainment district, is always been an interesting place. You know, let's throw away the concept of what you think transpires down there, and let me try and make you understand where I'm coming from. Just how cheap entertainment can be. Something you need to keep in mind. Arlen and I are very similar in the fact that we love to people watch. Watching people is interesting. To take a look at what's happening. And there is a plethora of that. You can go to Walking Street. You can sit down at Kokomo's on the rail that lines the street there, all right, in the heart of Walking Street. You can have the shrimp dinner and a large, almost like liter and a half of iced tea, and have dinner for an hour and a half for less than $15 US. Order a little dessert, you can stretch it out to 2 hours if you wanted to. And what are you going to see? How entertaining will it be? Well, you know what? It'll be entertaining after about 9 o'clock at night. It starts to crank up. It starts to get entertaining. What will you see? How funny can it be? How entertained can you get? Well, there's nothing like watching the regret on an entertainer's face as she slowly makes her way to the trike stand with her date that night that just absolutely she has no interest in other than his wallet at all. You can just see he's got this great big grin. She's like, you see this all the time. What about the naive guys that go down there? Guys that have never been exposed. I'm not saying they're dumb or anything like that. They've just never been exposed to that environment. They are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 9. By 11, man, they are foggy, slowly walking, stumbling. You can tell that they're not real big drinkers, or they are big drinkers and they've just been hammering it down. All right. You can see the groups. You can see the tourists. You know, Walking Street actually gets a good number of tourists. These are people that have no intention of imbibing on the activities, whether you approve or disapprove of those activities in the bars. They're just there to people watch and see it and experience and say they've been. All right. You can see the groups. You know, it's funny. The Koreans and the Indians, they travel in large groups. It's a herd mentality, all right? Safety in numbers, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Westerners, the Brits, the Aussies, the Americans, they're in groups of 2 and 3. In the expat alcoholics, they're often just by themselves. And what's funny is even if you only go to Walking Street occasionally, sooner or later, you're going to start to see the same people over and over. And you get to say to yourself, you know what? I've been here 3 times in the past 3 months, but I know I've seen that guy every time. The odds are that's an alcoholic. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. So $15 gets you through dinner and iced tea. You're totally sober. You're fine. You've been sitting down, relaxing the whole time. You've maybe had a conversation with a guy over here that was eating dinner beside you. You know, tourists and expats are always looking for somebody to talk to for some reason, or a large number of them are. Now you're going to go to a bar. Okay. You don't have to have one of the entertainers come down off the stage and enjoy drinks with you. You can watch the other idiots, the other drunks. All right. Now, I mean, there'll be plenty of responsible consumers, customers, all right, whatever you want to call them. All right. And they're fine and normal acting and everything else. But you're always going to end up seeing something else. You're always going to get exposed to a different environment on many, many occasions. It's inevitable, all right? You don't have to have cocktails. You don't have to drink. You can just order bottled water. Sure, it's a $3 bottle of water. That'll last you 45 minutes. For another $6, you're there for 2 hours. Or for another $6, you go to 2 different bars. You have 1 bottled water at each bar. It is the cheapest. That's a terrible word to say, huh? It is the least expensive form of entertainment around. There are live bands. You can go to different bars and they have live bands, and a bottle of water is all it's going to cost you. There's no entrance fee. There are bars that are show bars. They have and put on cultural dances, if you want to call them that. Some of it's pretty well choreographed. You know, Avalon, XS, they have some pretty well choreographed shows. They do a show like every couple of hours or something like that. But a bottled water. You can have an entire evening, as long as you stay away from that nefarious version of walking street, a whole evening cheap. So inexpensive. It is ridiculous. Not only that, but you get entertained. We like the live music. We like the shows. But watching the people is beyond. I mean, there's nothing like watching a drunk patron, inebriated patron, argue with a Filipino entertainer. Nothing funnier. All right? Because those girls are only going to take so much shit off of you before they clap back. It's just that simple. All right? There's nothing like watching a group walk into a bar and 5 minutes later walk out with 4 entertainers for every guy, hopping in a trike or a van that's waiting down the street. You start to see things. You start to develop that peripheral vision of what is going on over here. How is this that way? We see the military guys, all right? You know, contrary to popular belief, the British military guys come by walking street. The American military guys come by walking street. Even the Australian military guys come by walking street. And if they're actually deployed here, many of them aren't even allowed to come to walking street. But many of them just come on vacation. They're here. They're young. I mean, gotta remember, what was it like when you were 20 years old? When you were 30 years old? You went places. You did things. Sometimes you over imbibed on drinking. You know, you took the party a little too far. I mean, I've seen people break dancing, if that's what you want to call it, all right, in the middle of Walking Street. I've seen people argue in Walking Street. We've seen a couple of fights on Walking Street. And let me tell you something about fights on Walking Street. More often than not, those fights take place between Westerners. Very infrequently have we seen fights that take place between Filipinos and Westerners. Very infrequently. Now, we've seen Westerners, literally, we've seen Westerners not only escorted out of the bar because they've had too much, we've seen bar put them into a trike, literally half carry them to a trike. We've seen guys that are passed out at their table, their bottle of beer in front of them, and they're just taking a nap, and nobody's bothering them. Nobody's, nobody. The bar staff will just let them sleep it off right there, 9 times out of 10. Okay, we've seen 250-pound big strapping men half carried by 100-pound Filipino entertainers, okay, women, out and back. It's time to take you home. Time to get you back to your hotel. You see everything. We've seen the bar raids. We've seen fires. We've seen arguments, fights. But over the years, that's not uncommon anywhere, is it? All right? The world is changing, and so is everybody. Now, is it what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago? No, it's not. It's not at all. And quite frankly, neither is the rest of the world. For those of you that want to say, I want the old days back, or this or that, you can wish in one hand. Well, I'm not even going to go through that old saying, all right? The point is entertainment. They don't call it the entertainment district for nothing. And cheap entertainment, inexpensive entertainment is easy to come by. All right? You don't have to agree with what's going on. You don't have to imbibe in it. You don't have to participate in it. You can have a great time just going down. I mean, think about it for a minute. If you're a tourist, if you're an expat and you're just coming here to visit, you're not going to be going out. I mean, well, maybe some of you will. You're not going to go out drinking and getting hammered and chasing down entertainers, bar girls, left and right every night. Enjoy yourself. Go to Walking Street. There are eateries. There are multiple places where you can sit down, grab a bite. You can have a beer. You don't have to overdrink, okay? But you can do all of that and spend less than $25 the whole evening. And that counts transportation back and forth unless you're going to walk. Now, we don't suggest walking at night. I don't think any place, you know what? Depending on where you're going, how well lit it is, and what time of night, you should practice some caution. It's that simple. But either way, they don't call it the entertainment district now for nothing. How long will it keep that name? I got no idea. Don't really care. It'll always be Walking Street. But you can have a good time just watching people observing. I mean, Orlin and I love to be observant and watch people. It's funny. I mean, you can't help but laugh. You really and truly can. And if you're on vacation, well, shit, isn't the whole idea to laugh and have fun? I'm not saying you shouldn't participate. I'm just saying you don't have to participate. That's all. I'm saying that there are alternatives. Walking street, it can be a cheap alternative to sitting in your hotel room watching TV. That's for sure. Otherwise, look, in the comments below, tell us what you think. Otherwise, have a great day. Be safe.